Okay, so I would love to take credit for this idea, but I can't. Thanks to Clark Empire for the suggestion. Today, we are doing push, bury, or fire. I asked you guys to give me 3 names, and I wanted you to make it hard. That's what she said. We are starting with one that's very familiar to me, but probably not so much to you guys. It was actually a suggestion from my brother. He texted me and said, I have entered. I have given you 3 names, and I want you to put them on the video. So, he says, JTB, Mac, or Slapjack Jim Stayen. Now, this isn't the Slapjack that you know, that everybody knows and loves on Twitter. Twitter personality Slapjack. It's not him. No. These are 3 characters that we came up with when we were kids. JTB stands for Jason the Bitch, because my brother's name is Jason. And he was more like a... He was sort of like a GM character. Like, he used to wrestle, but he was like a retired. He was like the GM. Mac, who was the black and gold dude. Like, it's hard to explain him. Like, he was like the enigmatic dude who would always wear black and yellow. Like, it was his thing. Like, black and yellow was his thing. And he was like one of the top guys. He was like, you know, multiple time world heavyweight champion. Just the dude that you did not want to mess with ever. And Slapjack Jim Stayen was a guy. He was an Australian. I believe he was Australian. I might be wrong. It was a long time ago. And I think his finishing move was like a running top rope splash, where he would literally like go first rope, second rope, third, and then like turn around and do like a splash. So Slapjack Jim Stayen, Mac, or JTB, push, bury, fire. It's a hard choice, but I've got to fire Slapjack Jim Stayen because he probably didn't have the drawing power back then. I would have to push Mac because I believe I would want to see another chapter with Triple H. He had like 6 million feuds with Triple H when we were like making all this up when we were kids. And I would bury JTB because he would always go after my character, which was Sexay, which is just so stupid when you think back, but so much fun. I would have to bury JTB because he would always go after my character, Sexay. So that is a little glimpse into the, you know, what we used to do when we were kids. But that's a good one for my brother. As always, I'm going to go top down. I'm going to start with Joel Goulding. He starts off white hot. Push, bury, or fire. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, or Kevin Owens. Oh, okay. So, this is where it's going to get very tough because I love all of them as if they were my own family. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, or Kevin Owens. I am going to have to say I am going to push Cesaro. I am going to bury Daniel Bryan. And I'm going to fire Kevin Owens. And here's why. I believe Cesaro hasn't been to the top. He hasn't been to the lofty heights that we expected. So I want to see him in that. Daniel Bryan's been there. So I'm pushing Cesaro. I'm burying Daniel Bryan because I think no matter even if you buried him, I think he would come back with a vengeance. And I'm firing Kevin Owens because I think Kevin Owens in somewhere like AEW or anywhere else would be unreal and I'd still be able to see him. That's the only reason. Scotty's YT for life. He says push, bury, release. Daniel Bryan, Stone Cold, to pretend he's still wrestling, and CM Punk if he was still wrestling. So Daniel Bryan, Stone Cold, CM Punk. Out of those, I am firing CM Punk, I am pushing Daniel Bryan, and I am burying Stone Cold just for the pure fun of like seeing how Stone Cold would do if you tried to bury him. I think it would be really, really interesting. Matthew Wrestling. push Berry and fire AEW Edition, Darby Allin, MJF, or Jungle Boy. He says arguably the 3 hottest and brightest young stars in AEW, minus Adam Page and Orange Cassidy. Is Orange Cassidy really 36? That's insane. Anyway, push Berry, fire Darby Allin, MJF, or Jungle Boy. I am firing Jungle Boy. I am pushing Darby Allin, and I am burying MJF. It's hard though. That's what she said. I'm firing Jungle Boy because I think he has the least potential. Even though his potential is off the charts, I think he has the least potential of Darby Allin and MJF. I'm burying MJF because, again, much like Daniel Bryan, I think if you tried to bury MJF, he would make something happen anyway, and he would be able to recover more. Man, really tough though. Brent Delavine says, Ultimate Aussie Heartbreaker. This is the sort of stuff I love. Murphy, Thorne, or the Iconics. Push, bury, fire. Oh, it sucks. I am firing Shane Thorne because I reckon his Twitter game after being fired would be fire. I am pushing Buddy Murphy and I'm burying the Iconics, but I don't like any of that except for the push of Murphy. But that's a very, very good one. David TW. Cesaro, Brian Cage, Christopher Daniels in his prime. Interesting one. I am firing Brian Cage. I am pushing Cesaro. And I'm burying Christopher Daniels. Probably all for obvious reasons. Gun. Straight to the point. Push, bury, fire, Cesaro. Again. Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. This is excellent because I don't know. I am going to fire Nakamura so he can go back to New Japan for one last run because I think it would be excellent. I am this time going to push Sami Zayn to see how far he can go. And I am going to bury Cesaro. Even though I think like if you really truly tried to bury Cesaro, he'd be finished. Yeah, that's a really good one though. Pancake, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose / John Moxley. So the Shield, a Shield version. One of my favorite factions of all time, the Shield. I am going to fire Roman Reigns. Now that might seem silly, but my morbid curiosity again would be interested to see if Roman Reigns got fired and he decided to keep wrestling, what would he do? Where would he go? That would be one thing that would be very interesting. I would push Dean Ambrose in WWE. If we're talking in WWE, I would push Dean Ambrose, but in his way, with more of what he wanted to do in terms of like him being John Moxley-esque and being able to do his thing. I would have been interested to see him do his thing in WWE, and I'm going to bury Seth Rollins because I think we're all sick of seeing Seth Rollins at the top at times. I think the Messiah stuff is good, but you know what I mean. Whatever. King of Cobras, good friend of mine. He says Raymond Rowe, Walter, and because you love him so much, oh yeah, Otis. This is so easy. I am going to fire the hell out of Otis because I know that would annoy everybody. I am going to push Walter to the moon and I'm going to bury Raymond Rowe. Nothing against Raymond Rowe. Love Raymond Rowe. But Otis is out the door. Walter is going to the moon and Raymond Rowe can just sit in catering. Jedi John, he's thinking Attitude Era. He says Angle, Jericho, Austin. Yo, that's very good. That's very good because they're all absolutely outstanding. I think if you're talking Attitude Era, because they all got pushed, they all got over heaps. I'm firing Kurt Angle because I'm worried about his neck. Now, like, I feel like I'm copping out. I'm firing Angle, I'm pushing Austin, and I'm burying Jericho because, again, I think Jericho, even if you tried to bury him, it wouldn't even matter. He'd get over somehow. Clark Empire wouldn't be the video, given it's his idea, without involving him. Clark Empire says the Usos, Fish and O'Reilly, the Young Bucks. So that's very good, because they're all outstanding tag teams. But I'm firing Fish and O'Reilly. That sucks. That's harsh. Am I? I'm firing the Usos. Because O'Reilly's so good. Bobby Fish and O'Reilly are so good. I'm firing the Usos. I'm pushing the Young Bucks because they're going to sell just 1 billion t-shirts for me. And I'm going to bury Fish and O'Reilly. That's why this is so good. It's so tough, man. Wow, that's a good one, though. Thank you again for the idea, Clark Empire. We'll do a handful more. Jesse Jones, British Strong Style, Undisputed Era, or the New Day. This is very good. This is very good as well. I'm firing British Strong Style because they're very good though. They are very good, aren't they? They're all very good in their own way. I'm firing British Strong Style. I'm pushing the New Day, and I'm burying the Undisputed Era because I think if you buried the Undisputed Era, they would separate, and I think they've all got like individual appeal. The New Day, I'm pushing because they are just a money-making machine. And British Strong Style, I don't think are as recognizable for my brand, so I'm going to get rid of them. That's harsh, though. That's real harsh. Dan, JM23 says, Kevin Owens, Ricochet, or Cesaro, but do you know what? I like his second one more, so I'm going to do that one. He says, ESM version, Daniel Bryan, Apollo Crews, or Chad Gable. This is tough because, as everybody knows, I have a real soft spot for Chad Gable, right? But I've got to fire Chad Gable, don't I? Like, I just have to. I have to do it. And I have to push Apollo Crews because he's my boy. And I've got to bury Daniel Bryan again. I feel like all I've done is bury Daniel Bryan. Elijah Pierce says, Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles. That's really easy. I'm firing Michaels because he's a pain in the ass. I am going to bury AJ Styles. And for once, I'm going to push my boy D-Bry. BK all day. Kyle O'Reilly, Cesaro, or Apollo Crews. Very interesting mix. I'm firing O'Reilly. I'm pushing Crews. And I'm burying Cesaro again. Preston Bishop. We'll do a few more. He says Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, or The Undertaker. Now you've got to think, because I'm putting myself in the position of someone who's promoting a company, right? I've got to go with Shawn Michaels to get fired. Because again, as I said, he's a pain in the ass. Maybe not so much today, but like back in the day. I've got to push Stone Cold because he's a money-making machine, but so is The Undertaker. Actually, I have to push Stone Cold because he's just, again, he's like the Young Bucks. He's going to sell 600 million shirts in a week. And I've got to bury The Undertaker. Kane and New. That's not how you say that. Push, bury, or fire. Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, or Adam Cole. This is a really good one because I think all of them on the main roster could be something. I'm going to fire Ricochet. Oh, that's tough, though. I'm going to fire Ricochet because he's not as good on the mic. He's not as good a personality. I'm going to push Adam Cole because I think he's awesome. And I'm going to bury Johnny. I'm sorry, Johnny. All right, we're going to finish on this one. Last one. Brandon Vega. Now, this is the real serious stuff. This is when we get down to business. He says at the end, I'm not joking. Neither am I. I'm taking this very seriously. R-Truth, Orange Cassidy, or Repo Man. I'm going to fire Orange Cassidy because he's old, apparently. 36 isn't that old. But I can't believe he's 36. I am going to push Repo Man because you never know. I think Repo Man will get over these days. And I'm going to bury R-Truth because that's nothing new. And I reckon R-Truth would get over. If you want to see part 2, please let me know in the comments below. Who would you push, bury or fire? I want to know that as well. As always, make sure you're looking after yourself. Make sure you're chickening in on each other. Chicken in each other. We could be back for round 2 if you guys want it. Make sure you smash the likes on the video to let me know if you like it. If not, we can forget about it and do something else. From MurphsYT13, thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you on the next one.